And we're back, guys, as we take a look at the current WTA Top 10 rankings. And number one, of course, is Iga Swiatek. Iga! Big bad Iga! She leads all players on tour with 11,285 points. Now, as we get ready for France and the Olympic Games on clay, that's scary, guys. Why is that scary? Because Iga didn't necessarily do well last year on the North American hard court swing. I mean, essentially, she could take off the North American leg of the tour and still have a huge lead. Now, why is this scary? Because she doesn't really have many points to defend until we go back to Asia. Guys, she could possibly add on to this lead, and that is scary. Number one on tour, Iga Swiatek, 11,285 points. Number two is Coco Gauff, the future of tennis, ladies and gentlemen. She's ranked number 2 in the world. That's her all-time high. Can she get to number 1? Well, she's 3,100 plus points behind Iga Swiatek. She's going to have to defend at the U.S. Open and the Western and Southern Open if that's going to happen. That's tough because, ladies and gentlemen, with Coco going to the Olympics representing as the number 1 female for the United States, she's going to have to come back and quickly transition from clay back to hard, but she's going to miss DC. I don't see any way she can defend her title in DC, especially if she has a deep run in France. And coming back from France to travel, I would imagine she would want to take that tournament off. So Coco's going to lose points. You can consider her right now at 7,600 points. So for her to get number 1, she's going to have to win a lot of tournaments going into Asia as well. I think it's possible she could end the season at number 2, but she's going to also need a huge run at the U.S. Open. Your number 2 player on tour, Coco, 8,173 points. Number 3, Sabalenka. There's musical chairs going on between 3 and 4. Rybakina and Sabalenka. Sabalenka recently withdrew from the France games. Okay, she wants to focus on hard, and that scares me because if she enters DC without Coco, Iga, and these other top players that are going to France, I think Sabalenka, you have to like her chances to win that tournament. At 500 points, now she's flirting with the number 2 spot, and we all know she always does well at the U.S. Open. Sabalenka, number 3, 7,061 points. Number 4, Elena Rybakina, 6,376 points. Now, she's going to the Olympics. I think she's going to have a great chance to medal representing her country, ladies and gentlemen. However, I don't see her playing DC, but she could possibly play Toronto in the Western and Southern Open. If she can win one of those tournaments, do well at the U.S. Open, we could see her jump back as high as number 2, which would be her all-time ranking for her. Elena Rybakina, an amazing talent. Number 5, Jasmine Paolini, 5,500 points. She's a shocker to be on this list. No one would have expected her to be here starting this season. She's had back-to-back final appearances at the French Open and Wimbledon. No Italian player has ever done that, and no player on tour has ever done it since Serena Williams in 2016. Amazing, but can she hold on? She's going to play and represent Italy, but when we get back to America, can she do well in Toronto, the Western and Southern Open, the U.S. Open? Guys, I think she's a lock to make Saudi Arabia, and in fact, she is a lock, but can she hold on to that number 5 rankings? Because a lot of players are coming for her, such as Jessica Pegula, guys. Now, she's dropped. She was previously number 5, 4,600 points, guys. Pegula's going to need a big run here. She's changed coaches. I think she had a great run on grass. We all know that. WTA 500 champion. There's no master grass title or tournament. Now, there's been talks about adding one. Grass is only a 3-week season. They would have to push it back to at least 4 to 5 weeks. That would extend the season into late November, if not December. That's a conflict of interest as players get ready for Australia very early. Can Pegula do well on the North American swing? I think she will. I think she's a walking quarterfinal. She could possibly bump Jasmine out. That's possible. Sakkari, who a lot of people doubt, and she gets a lot of hate. Now, she has those 1,000 points to defend from Mexico. That's going to be huge on whether or not she can remain in the top 10. A lot of people criticize Sakkari. I don't think it's fair. I think it's disrespectful. She's a great player, but she recently fired David Witt. That's right, Venus Williams' former coach and Pegula's former coach. Ooh, what's next for Sakkari, guys? I think she just thought that relationship wouldn't work. That's going to be a tough adjustment. When you switch coaches, there's a learning period. I think the first few tournaments you do well because you want to please your coach and implement the new strategy. But long term, there's a big question mark around the number 8 seed, Maria Sakkari, or should I say the 8th ranked player in the world. Kenwin Jung, ladies and gentlemen, she's hanging on to her top 10 spot after that huge run at the Australian Open. Now, she's got a great serve. She's got a great forehand. She's mentally tough. And by the way, she has just owned Naomi Osaka lately. What's up with that? I've questioned whether or not she could hang on in terms of the race to the finals. And as of now, it looks like she's not going to be able to, guys. What's going on with her? I think Iga said it best. You look to play your best tennis and be in your best form at least 5 times throughout the year. It seems like Queenwin's heading a slump. She's heading into a slump. However, she's got a chance to get back on track as the top seed in Palermo. If she can win that championship, she'll add a few more points and possibly compete for 6th or 7th spot inside the top 10. Danielle Collins, American, ladies and gentlemen. She's hanging on to a top 10 ranking as well after winning Miami. And then she went back to back and she won Charleston. That's right. She's doing amazing, guys. Danielle Collins literally coming into the season had 2 main tour championships where we saw her win abroad a couple of years ago on clay. She's won 2 of the biggest tournaments of her life this year as she's calling it quits, guys. I think it would be amazing if she could end her career as a top 10 player. And Barbora Krejcikova, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. This is your 10th ranked player on tour, and she did it by winning SW19. That's right. She jumped up in the rankings, and coming into Wimbledon, she had a losing season, guys, but she put together 7 wins in a row, and now she's in the top 10. She climbed 22 spots. Barbora's an amazing player. She's got great serve placement. She has great angles. Her footwork is not all that great, but she makes up for it by buying time with topspin and her amazing decision-making. I think it's a lock that Barbora finishes this season inside the top 10. She's that good, and she's going to France to represent and play on clay as well. So I think Barbora Krejcikova is an amazing talent, and if she continues to just play well and stay healthy, she's a top 10 player any calendar year. Those are your top 10 players, guys. Enjoy, like the video, show some love, and we'll be back.